Everyone, and thank you for joining us to this tips, trick, and back practices session. We're going to have a few experts from our security team, so the customer experience team that are specialists in deploying our different products. So we have here on stage Pavel that will be talking about the Office 365 ATP. We have Yuji from the Microsoft Defender ATP team, and we have Gershon for Azure ATP. I'll be talking last about cloud app security, and we hope that you will really enjoy this session. What are we going to present during this session? It's actually all the tips and tricks and the best practices that we have developed over the years based on the deployment that we perform to our customer. So all teams are engaged with the largest customer in the world, and we build those best practices that you can see on your side based on that experience. So hopefully you will be able to use the things that we're going to explain here right away in your own environment to implement all tools. And if you have any question, I would recommend to take a picture of these slides because we will be at the different booths if you go to the hub. That's where we will be for the next days. And also go to techcommunity.microsoft.com where we have all the different experts and people from the product group that can answer your question. So that's something that will be there even after Ignite, so don't hesitate to join Tech Community and ask questions where we will be able to answer. Now I'm going to let Pavel discuss about Office 365 ATP best practices. Pavel.
Yeah. Can I hit the sticker? Okay, thanks. Hello everyone, Pavel Partyka, Office 365 ATP based in Switzerland. So what I wanted to talk about today is a couple of things that I observe when I'm talking to the customers, right? So first problem that many customers highlight to me is basically problem of phish messages being delivered to the inbox, right? So what might be the reason of that? It might be because the message was simply something that we missed, so it might be a false negative on our side, but it might be also actually a tenant override problem. What is tenant override? So tenant override is basically any type of whitelisting rule that is deployed in the organization that is allowing messages to be delivered to users' inboxes, such as exchange transport rules, anti-spam, safe sender, safe domains list, or for example, IP allow list. Right, so I want to show you quickly how you can actually check in your organization whether you are affected by that problem. So let me switch to my demo environment. This one, okay. This one is 7. So I will be using Threat Explorer, but entire investigation of that problem can actually start with an insight. So when we detect the situation that phish messages, so phish messages that we flagged as really malicious are delivered to user inboxes, we will highlight an insight for you in Security and Compliance Center, informing you that there are mail-through rules that allow phishing messages to the organization, right? Now I want to get deeper and understand what are these messages and what is the reason they are actually allowed to the organization. So for that I will use Threat Explorer. I will switch to the phish view. And in the phish view I will select delivery action as a filter, and I will filter that for delivered messages. So with this couple of clicks I can identify what are the messages that were delivered to user inboxes. So okay, I have the list. I see how they are distributed over the time, and I now want to understand why, for example, this particular message was delivered to the user inbox. So there is a new feature, admin submissions. So how many of you heard about admin submissions so far? Okay, just a couple of hands. Okay, so let's see how it works. So I can immediately report that message to Microsoft to get the latest threat intel on that message, so what Microsoft right now thinks about it, and also get a response on why actually this message was delivered to user inbox. Okay, so submission is completed. Let me switch to the other tab and refresh the view here. It's still being processed. If it doesn't complete quickly, I will just open the previous one. Okay, so I will since this is still being scanned, I will open the result of the previous submission that I did before this session. And what you can see right now on the screen is, okay, I submitted a email that is classified as a phish. right? So the action that the filters wanted to do is blocked, but there's actually a tenant policy, exchange transport rule with a specific GUID that allow that message to the organization, right? So now you can quickly identify and maybe fine-tune that transport rule to mitigate that problem. And if this is like a long-term plan, right? So you might want to evaluate, okay, how the message actually looks like and whether I want to remove that, allow this or not. But if you want to now quickly remove these messages from the environment, what you can do is you can just multi-select these messages that were delivered to user inboxes and basically hard delete them or soft delete them, right? So they will be immediately cleaned up from the environment if you decide that these are really malicious messages and I quickly need to remediate the situation. Okay, so let's switch gears to the next topic that I wanted to talk about, which is basically well-known ATP safe links. So probably you are all familiar with what the ATP safe links are. They protect you the time of click against phishing sites. But what not everyone knows is that also ATP safe links allow you to limit number of phishing messages delivered to the user inboxes. But for that, what I would recommend you to do is to apply this real-time URL scanning for suspicious links and links that point to files. Because what that will do will actually detonate the file or link during the mail flow, and if we detected that this is actually malicious site, the delivery of that email will be blocked. Right? So with a simple click, you can extend your protection, and the new checkbox that you see down below, wait for URL scanning to complete before delivering the message, will actually hold delivery of that message until detonation of all the URLs in the message completes. Then we know, okay, these URLs are safe, so we deliver the message, or no, actually there is one URL that points to some credential harvesting site, so the delivery of that message would be either redirected to junk email folder or actually blocked or quarantined. Right, so also good practice to enable both options, especially the second one since it's new, since I think summer period, maybe not all of you has already enabled it. Okay, and the next thing is related to the investigations. So this is a new capability that is part of Office 365 ATP P2. And what I recommend you to do is basically regularly review the investigations that are triggered for you automatically as a result of an alert. So in Office 365 alerts, we produce different types of warnings for you that will trigger investigations. And if you are receiving a lot of the alerts and a lot of investigations, sometimes you need to prioritize which of them to focus first. So in this particular case, I'm concentrating on URL verdict change playbook, which I would recommend you to prioritize as the first one to investigate, because that one is a consequence of an alert that signifies that the user clicked on a malicious URL. So it seems, so the scenario is that user received an email with a malicious site, with a malicious link, and at the time of delivery, we didn't know that the site is bad. So maybe the link wasn't weaponized, or maybe an attacker didn't yet upload the file or didn't put a proper DNS record. And then after delivery, user click on that link, and we learn during that time that this URL is bad. Right? So this is a severe situation because we know someone accessed the malicious site. So what we want to do is we want to start the investigation that would help you understand what is the blast radius, right? So who else received a similar message? Who else click on that link? In which user mailboxes that email resides? Maybe the user that click on the link is showing any indicators of compromise, so we can actually connect to MCAS and get any anomalies from the sign-in processes. We can also analyze what happens on the Office 365 DLP if this user is violating any DLP rules. So this is all what this investigation will do for you. And what it will be left for you is just to approve the actions, right? So maybe delete the messages, turn off email forwarding, as you can see on the screenshot, block the URL. Right, so this is the investigation that I would recommend you to prioritize. So to summarize the Office 365 ATP side, basically work on your whitelisting rules. Use Threat Explorer, use insights to identify if you are affected by excessive whitelisting. Extend your protection with ATP safe links detonation. And the third thing is review your investigations on a daily basis and prioritize URL verdict change. Okay? So I will pass it on to Gershon to talk about Azure ATP.
Thank you, Pavel. So my name is Gershon Levitz. On the customer experience team, focusing on Azure Advanced Threat Protection, Azure ATP. How many people have actually deployed Azure ATP? Okay, so we actually have a pretty good number here. How many people have deployed ATA, haven't moved to Azure ATP? Okay, we'll get you there. So normally when I do sessions, I actually take a selfie, but this is a pretty big room, so I'm actually not going to be able to take a selfie with you guys. So let's actually jump in here. So 5 things to prioritize for your pre-deployment of Azure ATP. So Azure ATP, we're moving back on-premise. So Office 365 and MCAS is primarily in the cloud, cloud services. So Azure ATP is a cloud service, but we actually are going to be looking at your domain controllers, the traffic to and from the domain controllers. And the goal of Azure ATP is to help you prevent attacks, also to detect attacks that are taking place on-premise in Azure in Active Directory, also to investigate and also to resolve incidences that are taking places. So we actually need, and the components that we actually have here is we need to deploy a sensor on an agent on your domain controller. And then that sensor is actually going to be doing some network traffic inspection. We're going to be looking at some events, and then we're going to take select pieces of that information, and we're going to forward that up to the service where the service is actually going to be doing the detections for us. So here are the top 5 things. I was trying to get like a top 10, like, you know, what's his name was used to do on the night shows. So the first thing is run the Azure ATP sizing tool. So since we are going to be deploying on your domain controllers, and your domain controllers are really important to you guys, we have a sizing tool that will let you know if your domain controllers are currently configured with enough resources to be able to deploy the sensor without any issues. We'll also be able to tell you if you have domain controllers that are not supported. So if you're still running some 2008 servers, let's move them up and get them upgraded. I won't ask people to raise their hands if they have 2003 servers running, but we come across that with some customers. So we'll actually be able to give you a good map in terms of what's happening in your environment and what you're seeing in your environment. It also can be used to help you plan your deployment. So you can sort the Excel file based upon your site or locations so that you could ramp up and see and plan your deployment. The next thing is we have another small tool called the Advanced Audit Policy tool, and this is just checking to ensure that your domain controllers are properly configured to be able to record the events that Azure ATP needs. And it's a very quick tool. It runs. It's going to tell us if those domain controllers are properly configured or not. We actually look through the group policies, and we do a resultant check of the group policy on the machine, because the machine could actually have a local policy that might be overriding, or it might not, or the group policy might not be applied in the right location. The next thing we need to really be worried about is ensure that we have the right version of .NET installed on the domain controllers. So if you do not have .NET 4.7 on the domain controller and you attempt to install the sensor, it is going to reboot your domain controller. Not going to be happy. So let's get the .NET 7 installed beforehand and during a maintenance window, and then we could actually deploy the Azure ATP sensor even during production hours within the environment. As the domain controller, the sensor does communicate to the Azure ATP service in Azure. We need to open up the domain controller to communicate to Azure. And I know this has really been a question that's come up with a lot of our customers, and we've pretty much nailed it down to a single thing. You have a single URL. When you create your Azure ATP instance, you get an instance ID. You need to create a single proxy rule to your instance. So it could just be, you know, we have a test tenant called SECI30, and then we could just be SECI30 sensor API.atp.azure.com. That's the only URL that needs to be open. We could also do this authenticated, so that we could actually authenticate the traffic within the proxy, so it's not just coming out from the machine, it's actually coming out from a specific user account, and you can allow that to come out, and you could use that authenticated proxy. Authenticated proxy is an option, it is not required. We have some customers who are using it. Most of our customers are just using the regular single URL, and it is fine. We've had these conversations with the largest organizations, and this has not been a blocker for us. And the last item, if you do have some physical servers and you do have NIC teaming enabled on those domain controllers, we do need to install npcap. And we can provide that for you. npcap licensing has been updated. The free version of npcap used to be limited to 5 servers. If you look at the licensing agreement for Azure ATP, that limitation is not there and does not apply. If you need to script this, you can actually do this with getting the OEM version, and you can contact us at support, and we'll actually get you a copy of the OEM version where you could actually script the deployment of npcap. So now I'm going to move to post-deployment. What are the four things you want to prioritize for post-deployment? So the first thing we want to do is enable the MCAS integration. So recently we enabled the integration between MCAS and Azure ATP, so we can now see your activities, your Azure ATP activities, so your on-premise activities in Cloud App Security Console. So now I could actually have a single location where I could actually see what my user's doing on-premise and also in the cloud. So it really gives us that hybrid story, and everybody's got Azure AD, everybody's using Office 365, so then we could actually now see what's going on between activities and alerts that are going on. It's a simple single click. In the Cloud App Security Console, you go to the settings, go down to Azure ATP, click enable and save, and within a few hours you'll actually start seeing the data flowing through. Another question I get from my customers a lot of times is, this is a console that's part of Azure. Anybody can access it and try to put in username and passwords. Set up conditional access to access these consoles. These consoles contain a lot of valuable and highly sensitive information. So let's set up conditional access policies to say that these users, to access this console, they require MFA, or they can only access this from an internal network. So let's actually take advantage of Azure AD conditional access to be able to protect the consoles that we're accessing here. The next thing is, we actually have documentation on a security alert lab for Azure ATP, so that we can actually walk you through setting up a lab and walking through the tools that you need to install and download and install, and we actually then walk you through all of the steps. So from a reconnaissance phase, lateral movement, to domain dominance. And you don't have to worry about getting a phone call from your security team when you're doing this, because you're doing this in your own lab. So this is a really good place to actually play and to understand and to see the capabilities of Azure ATP. We do have 2 more labs that are very similar to that, but they are filled. So you might want to stop by later today at 4 if you want to try to squeeze in and maybe fly standby, or tomorrow afternoon at 2 o'clock. We also just released the identity security posture assessments. So we do, since we're sitting on the domain controllers and we're seeing all this network activity and events, we could actually now tell you specific things. Clear text passwords. Do you have them in your network? You probably do. You don't realize it. NTLM-v1, is it still in your network? Who's using it? Where is it being used? What device is actually doing it? Dormant sensitive accounts. User's domain admin hasn't logged in with that account for 6 months. Why is he still part of the domain admins group? So this is the prevent side of Azure ATP. So take a look at that. And then just wanted to give you the additional sessions that we have for Azure ATP that are coming up actually today. So if you actually want to go a little bit deeper into Azure ATP and its capabilities. So we have detect, investigate, and respond to identity-based threats using Azure ATP today at 2 o'clock. And then finding needles in a haystack today at 4:30. And with that, I will hand it over to Yuji.
Thanks for the question. Hi, everyone. My name is Yuji Aoki. I'm a Defend ITP team, CXC team, based in Tokyo, Japan. And my session is Defend ITP. Here's the 3 tips I like you to prioritize to Defend ATP deployment. Before I get into the, talking about this, I'd like to know how many of you have deployed Microsoft Defend ITP in your tenant? Wow, that's a lot. Thank you very much. Okay. First thing about the deployment is start enabling EDR and start looking at alerts. Defend ITP has a lot of capabilities. One of the capabilities is EDR. And it's, Windows 10 has it's part of our operating system, so it has a built-in sensor. You don't have to you don't need to install any agents at all. So you just turn it on and just start using it. So I'll now show you how to start onboarding the Defender ATP. And I'm not expecting this signing. Hopefully it works. Okay. Now, you get to see the polar, right? Now, this is the Microsoft Defender Security Center. Once to onboard, you go to the gear settings, bottom left at the gear icon, and you go, and there's a menu called onboarding. And here you select two things. One is operating system you are onboarding, and second is the deployment method. Now I click on the operating system, you see not only Windows 10, we support Windows 7, 8.1, Windows servers, also like a Mac OS, like a Linux, and iOS and Android with like a partner integration. That's the thing you first pick, say like Windows 10, and second thing is deployment method. If you are doing a POC, like a testing, we have a small script to run on the box, and also like a group policy, SCCM, Intune, or if you're using a VDI with like a persistent environment, there's a script for that. So you can just select that, and there's the download button. You download the package, just apply it to like whatever the tool you use. And one tip here is most customers we engage, there's a very fairly easy deployment method, but sometimes customer fails because most of the reason is the network. Because like sometimes like a proxy or like a firewall blocks the URL to like our tenant. That's the thing you need to check. Otherwise, mostly customer has no problem onboarding it. It's very easy. And if you are deploying the Defender ATP from now on, there's some helpful resources for you. It's called evaluation and tutorials. There's two. One is evaluation lab. This is a set of VMs you can use for testing. If it's instantly, you can create a VM for like testing a Defender ATP. You just simply click on there's a button called the Add Machine. So it will spin up the VM so you can start onboarding the machine and testing the Defender ATP. So you don't have to get like a box from somewhere. That's the one thing. And also we have like a tutorial. So simulation and tutorials. There's a couple of scenarios you can test. There's each scenario has a script or like a files, so you can download it and run it on the box, so it'll trigger an alert. And you can see how the alert looks like in the Windows, Microsoft Defender ATP console. And also there's like a document to go through that, so it will be helpful. The files are helpful to you. And go back to slide number 5. Okay, next thing is assess endpoint protection. You could enable Defender ATP EDR without switching to our AV. You may be using third-party AV, and Defender ATP also works with the EDR because there's no dependency. But if you use both our EDR and EPP together, Defender AV, you get full capability of Defender ATP. So we highly recommend to test and adopt our preventive protection technologies. They'll provide a valuable, unique capabilities to protect your business. And our EPP, Defender AV, is a market leader's solution. We've been hitting high scores in independent testing. And also, again, it's a part of the operating system, so you don't need to install an agent. So it's fairly easy to deploy it. And another thing is focusing on attack surface reduction rules to mitigate the common attack vectors that are driven by like unwanted behaviors, such as like Office files, like Excel, like Word, has macros. When you enable it, it creates like launching a child processes, like PowerShell. That kind of suspicious activity could be blocked with using ASR rules. But we recommend to set the ASR rules with auditing mode first, and then gradually move into block mode. Because you started with block mode, might be blocked the good files. So we highly recommend to start with ASR with audit mode. That's the tip for that. And last thing is automate your SOC with auto IR. And this is the second question again. How many of you using auto IR feature in Defender ATP? Not many. This is the third one. I really highly recommend you to use this thing because automated investigation is, we highly recommend because we make sure that we help you to getting focused on what is really important to you in your business, like a complex investigation or complex incidents. So like a daily task, like some malware found, like a quarantine, that kind of thing can be done with this auto IR. I'll switch to the demo. See, here's the sample of automated investigations. Maybe this one. Okay, here's a kind of sample of the automated IR. We've seen that in the Office ATP also, but we also have a Defender ATP has an automated IR. Once the alert happens, it'll trigger auto IR, and it'll check all the files and processes and services, registry keys changes, and once all done, it'll maybe tell you, hey, here's a file that was suspicious, and here's the evidence. It's like a malware file was downloaded in this folder and should be deleted, something like that. And one tip here is once you basically automated IR is enabled by default as a semi-automated, which means it'll trigger all the investigations, but it'll wait until your approval. But we highly recommend to set to full automated, which is without asking your admin's approval, because it just wait for maybe like a Friday night, something bad happens, but no one take a look at it like 2 days, like a weekend. Then you come in and Monday, and you could take a look at it. That will be like a 2 days differences, right? So that will eliminate the automated full will eliminate such time lag. So if you also you can undo. If something gets deleted, you can undo it. So that's kind of help, I think. And go back to the slide. So again, there's 3 things: enable EDR, look at alerts, assess endpoint protection, and start using automated IR. Once you've done all of these, you can get a benefit of we have more capabilities such as threat vulnerability management or like advanced hunting that you can use a lot of benefit from deploying these products. And here's our product, docs and blogs. And another last thing is we recently launched fast track support for like a Defender ATP and Office 365 ATP. And so we can help you to deploy these services. So for the details, you can come to the Fast Track booth, the downstairs. So that's from me, Defender ATP. Thank you.
Thank you, Yuji. So thank you for applauding Yuji, but I'm still there. And I'm so sorry to keeping you away from lunch, but don't worry, in 15 minutes, I'll be gone. So please bear with me. So first, I'm going to talk about cloud app security before talking about the different deployment best practices. And I would like to have an understanding if here in the crowd you're using cloud app security. Who is using cloud app security? Okay, that's a good number. Who is planning to use cloud app security in the next 12 months? Oh, almost all the rooms. Did you see that we've been also awarded as a leader in the latest CASB Magic Quadrant? Thanks, that's great. So if you've missed that, go there, download the report, and if you want to discuss about this, we have plenty of people at the booth that can explain you why we received that award. And if you look at that MQ, you will see that we're actually the top CASB, the top cloud access security broker in the whole Magic Quadrant with the ability to execute. Why? Because we're working super hard to make it really simple for you to protect your environment. So for those who are not familiar with the CASB word, so CASB, Cloud Access Security Broker, think about a CASB as a security solution to help you protect your cloud assets. Of course, most people think about cloud app security being the best CASB to protect Office 365, but that's not the only thing that we can do. Actually, what we do is to focus on the integration with all the applications that you have in your environment. And one of the first things that I would recommend to do when you're implementing cloud app security is to, of course, connect Office 365 and the third-party application that you have in your environment. So we have two ways to connect application to cloud app security. The first way is the one that you see here on the screen, and this way is to connect to those applications using our app connectors. So what's an app connector? An app connector is an API connector, so we have a way with cloud app security to integrate to those applications using the API provided by the application. Using this integration, we can easily collect all the activity events from the application, like the logon event, the download event, sharing, upload, etc. And that's also the best way for us to scan files in those applications. Think about scanning files that have been classified as highly sensitive in Office 365 in Box or Dropbox, and Cloud App Security will be able to alert you on this. To be able to do that, you just have to go to that page, click on that button, choose the application, provide the right credentials to obtain the right API token, and then you go. Cloud App Security will scan your environment. If you think about the integration with Office 365, it takes less than 10 seconds to connect Cloud App Security, and you're ready to go and protect your environment. So that would be my first recommendation: integrate those applications using the API connectors. And I was talking about two ways to integrate application with Cloud App Security. And the second way is actually using a reverse proxy, or called conditional access app control. And this is a technology that helps us to extend the capability provided by Azure AD to provide you that real-time control. By real-time control, we mean that we're going to analyze all the traffic between your users and the application to be able to enforce some controls, like preventing upload of malware or preventing download of sensitive data during risky sessions, like people connecting from specific locations and from unmanaged devices. You can integrate in those two ways, and if you have some question about this deployment, don't hesitate to come to the booth. We'll be happy to demo that for you. The second thing that we would recommend to do when you're deploying Cloud App Security, again, we try to keep everything simple. We try to go to that one-click thing. And actually, we're discussing about this with marketing, and they told us, yeah, we want a one-click integration because two-click doesn't sound really good. So one click is really our aim. So when we talk about this integration with Microsoft Defender ATP, what we're doing is actually collecting all the traffic logs from the endpoints inside and outside your company to discover applications that people are using. I'm talking about shadow IT. Who in the room has some issue with shadow IT in the company? Yeah, most of them. And the people that didn't raise their hands, probably you don't know that you have shadow IT, but I'm guaranteed that you have it. And if you want to be able to remediate this issue and maybe prevent people to go to those applications, maybe go back to those users and educate them, you have to understand what they are using and why they're using it. And the integration we have with Defender ATP is just that checkbox that you have to click. You see that we support the operating system down to Windows 10 1709. So most of the time that's something that you will at least have in your company. And as soon as you do this, after a couple of hours, you will start getting all the applications that people are using in your environment. I'm talking about cloud applications, of course. So that's really an easy way to get that visibility in your environment, inside the corporate network, but also outside the corporate network. The third thing that we will do, and that's also super easy to do with Cloud App Security, is to discover, classify and label, and also add some protection to sensitive data stored in your cloud applications. Who is using cloud application here? I'm expecting everybody to raise their hands. Oh, not so many people actually. But don't worry, we can also support on-premises application. Come to the booth, we'll explain that. But for those of you who are storing sensitive data in the cloud, the first thing that you want to do is to understand the data that your user have actually put in the cloud. How can you do that? First, you have to define what's a sensitive data, and it depends on the company. So we have different ways to discover this sensitive data. The first way is to use the integration we have with Azure Information Protection to discover data that's classified as highly sensitive, for example, by using AIP labels. So Cloud App Security natively reads that information and can provide you reports on this kind of data that would be externally accessible, for example. But by integrating with the Office 365 data classification service, we're also able to consume their sensitive information type. So you can see on my screen that I have the different data that's classified as GDPR in Cloud App Security and in Office 365. And of course, you can extend those different sensitive information type by creating your own rules. So let's say that for you, you have specific keywords, specific regular expression that you want to use. You could create this in the Security and Compliance Center in Office 365. And Cloud App Security will be able to consume that information to allow you to create some DLP rules. The other thing that you can do is, of course, after discovering this sensitive information, protecting it by preventing either data leaks. So let's say you have sensitive data that's shared externally, and maybe you want to remove automatically those sharings. Or another thing that you could do is to apply some Azure Information Protection classification and protection. After discovering this sensitive data, that's something that Cloud App Security could do for you. So for those who are familiar with Azure Information Protection Scanner, you could think about Cloud App Security in this case as a cloud scanner for discovering, classifying, and protecting your sensitive data in your cloud application. Who is using AIP in the room, just to get also an idea? Okay, many people. So Cloud App Security natively integrate. Again, we have that one-click button for this integration, and we're also able to decrypt the information that has been protected by Azure Information Protection to discover the data based on the content like what we have here. And another thing that I wanted to tell you, and actually here we're doing even better than the one-click story that I was talking about before. It's actually a zero-click, so it's even better. So we have built-in policies that are enabled in Cloud App Security. So as soon as you connect an application with the application connector that I talked about before, we will be able to look at the user activity, the files that you have in your environment, and we'll be able to detect the threats in your cloud application. The threats can be things like, for example, in Exchange Online, suspicious inbox rule creation, or suspicious mail manipulation. Think about a rule that would be created in a mailbox where all the emails containing some keywords for financial data are suddenly moved to the RSS feed. Usually that's not something that a real user is going to do. So that's something that you want to discover. That's one of our advanced detection that you have in that environment that will be enabled by default and protecting your environment. We have many other things, so you can see on the screen that we have about 60 built-in policies that are protecting your cloud environment. And we have things like also user behavior. So we're going to create a user profile for every user in your environment, because we know that every user is doing separate things in an environment. Maybe we have some people for which it's totally normal to share a lot of files externally, or download files, or sync those files across many devices. But there are other accounts in your environment that are probably acting totally differently. So what we're doing is to analyzing for a specific period all the different activities of those users. We build this profile, and as soon as we discover an anomaly, we're going to alert you. And regarding those alerts, because we know that we have an alert fatigue across the different security teams for customers, I'm not talking about this here, but we have a session on Friday afternoon. We are going to show you how you can automate all those things using the integration we have with Microsoft Flow, or now Power Automation, I think. They just renamed this. So that's going to allow you to delegate those alerts management to your end user. Think about, for example, asking a manager if the employee is traveling abroad because Cloud App Security detected an activity from an unusual location. Is the end user actually traveling there? Is there an out of office configured? Those are the kind of things that you can automate to automatically resolve alerts without spending too much time in those investigations. So those are really things that you can do by just enabling Cloud App Security. And that zero-click thing, new marketing term now. I wanted also to show you the different resources that we have to be able to start with Cloud App Security. So if you go to this page, I've highlighted a few links. You see that we released the top 20 CASB use cases. Because we know that for many people, it's not easy to understand all the things that you can do with a CASB. So that's an easy to read PDF that you can download, share internally with your CISO, for example, and we're going to explain you all the scenario that we can cover. We also released a getting started guide and a best practice guide that are the different steps that we're recommending based on our experience when you're trying to deploy Cloud App Security. Because we know, and we've realized actually by working with you, customers, that it's not easy. What should I do? And that's a question we get all the time, even here at the booth. What should I do after purchasing my licenses? How can I start my implementation of Cloud App Security? You just go to those links with the Getting Started guide, and you will have all the different steps to get started and implement Cloud App Security in your environments in a matter of minutes. And because we know that best practices are extremely important for you, we also released a best practice guide where we explain all the recommendation and links to the specific part of our large documentation to be following our recommendations. We're also having 2 other sessions that are unfortunately full for workshops where we show how to deploy Cloud App Security. But I would recommend to go to the, I don't have it here, sorry, but go to the tech community link that we showed at the beginning, where we're going to announce where we're going to release those labs that people are doing this week at Ignite, and we're going to release them publicly. So as self-paced lab, you will be able to do those labs by yourself in a controlled environment without touching anything in your production. And with this, I conclude this presentation, and I will ask you to please evaluate this session. So if you liked it, please thumb up. If you didn't like it, let us know too. But thank you for your attention, and enjoy your lunch.